Welcome to episode 2 of Tales from the Sentence Crypt. Today's crypt features sentences with subjects, verbs, or objects that just don't work together. I'm probably even older than the teacher in this cartoon, and I was raised back when Tweety Bird and everyone else still had to learn to diagram sentences. Okay, boomer. I still think there's a lot to be said for sentence diagramming. Years ago, when I was working as a writer and editor in the Pentagon, I attended a luncheon that the Aerospace Industries Association hosted for defense writers. A group of us sat around a table enjoying some free food and grumbling about how many of our coworkers could not write a clear and coherent sentence. So, this raised the question, why could we write clear and coherent sentences? So we talked this over, and we quickly reached a consensus. We could write clear sentences because the nuns made us diagram. I was the only dissenter. There were no nuns in my educational past, but if I hadn't been educated by nuns, I had spent a memorable year with Mrs. Potts, my 8th grade English teacher, who made me diagram an inordinate number of sentences. Come to think of it, Mrs. Potts would have made a very plausible nun. I should note, so that I don't lead you astray, that I'm pretty sure that the teacher in the cartoon is diagramming this deceptively simple sentence wrong. Enough from the ghosts of Christmas past. I am not going to be able to resurrect sentence diagramming, even though I know that Dr. Colosimo shares my fondness for those bad old days. But I will note that one great virtue of sentence diagrams is that they made students put subjects, verbs, and objects together in a line so that we could see at a glance if these building blocks of a sentence actually made sense together. This lineup is especially helpful when there are other words that intervene between the subject and the verb, or the verb and the object. So, on to our next set of zombie questions. Yup. This is another real dress rehearsal paper sentence, inappropriate disguise for my alien abduction topic. What's the problem? Okay, I guess I lied. I am materializing as the ghost of my Christmases past, or maybe of Mrs. Potts, so here is a partial diagram of the zombie sentence you just saw. I suspect that this student thought that statistics was the subject of his or her sentence, but in fact, the subject of this sentence is augmentations. Of statistics is a prepositional phrase that modifies the subject noun, again, augmentations. Trouble is, I don't think augmentations overlook anyone or anything. But even if we get rid of augmentations, which is really a misfired power noun, we've still got a problem. Statistics don't do a whole lot of overlooking either. Here's another sentence from the crypt. What's the problem here? Well, I'm not going to get all complicated with diagramming. The subject of the sentence is nationalism, right? All that with alien stuff is a prepositional phrase, and the verb predicate is the phrase began to anger. Does nationalism anger? It can generate anger, sure, and a lot of other emotions as well. And really, we know what the student was trying to say. Still, the subject-verb combo really doesn't work here. You know the drill now, right? It's time for your next quiz. Warning, the sentence you're going to rewrite has some problems other than mismatched subjects, verbs, and objects. To get full points, you'll need to fix those problems too.